All right, what's going on, everybody? Michael Paul here with Cage Titans. We are at the Cage Titans 62 press conference. We got a huge stacked card for you guys this weekend. Cage Titans 62 headlined by these two guys right to my left and right, Mitch Raposo and Cleveland McLean for the Cage Titans flyweight title. Then in our co-main event, we have Joe Giannetti taking on Pat Walsh. And then also here today at the press conference, we got a highly anticipated matchup between Aaron Short Fuse Hughes and Captain America himself, Gerry Meuse. And then in the flyweight division, huge implications with this fight going down. Wonder Bread Warrior, Casey Norton, taking on Joey Guns Poirier. Without further ado, we got Andrew Mack from Trial by Combat here to ask some questions to the fighters. So I'm going to turn it over to Andrew virtually, and let's get this party started.
What's up? Mike, my first question actually goes to you. So we had Joe Giannetti vacate his welterweight title, but then Jack Condon got injured. So can you talk about the lead up between Condon getting injured and you guys calling back up Giannetti?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, honestly, it was kind of crazy. You know, Joe Giannetti, came up short in the lightweight title fight last event. And afterwards, he just kind of told me, I have no intentions of going back up to welterweight. I want to focus my efforts into lightweight. So I want to vacate the belt and let Jack Condon, his teammate, fight for it. At that point in time, I thought it was a done deal. And Joe talked to me about January. Oddly enough, the day that Jack pulled out, we were looking for a 55-pound fighter. And Joe hit me up, said, who's the guy at 55? And I told him it's a 1-0 guy. Obviously, that's not your type of fight. So that's not going to work. And 8:45, my phone rang from Jack Condon, and he was out. And probably 9:15, I messaged Joe and said, hey, Jack's out. Obviously, you must know. He goes, what are you asking? And I just kind of wink face and said, I'm not asking anything. What do you think? And he came back and took the fight. So there you have it. He technically never lost this welterweight title. So however you want to spin it, is it for the vacant title, or we just kind of threw that belt right back on his shoulder, and he's going to be coming into this to take on Pat Casey.
All right, awesome. I'm going to wait from the outside in, starting with Casey Norton.
How you doing?
Okay, so good. How are you?
Not bad, cutting weight and driving here. It's what it is.
So after your last fight, there was some drama between your team and Tyrus Meyer's team in the cage. What exactly happened there?
Well, I'll start with saying I got no problem with his coaches, but I think I did everybody in here a favor by knocking that motherfucker out because he's mad fucking annoying. But he was talking shit to me the whole time, and I shut him up. That's it. And he kept saying after the fight that you want to go. It's like, we just went. I mean, I can knock you out again, but whatever.
Going to Joe Poirier now. So you haven't seen the end of the first round since you've gone pro. Do you expect this fight to continue that trend?
Yeah, I mean, I always foresee a quick finish. You know what I mean? I'm fully prepared to go the distance if need be, but yeah, I always see it ending quick in there.
Going to Gerry Meuse. So you've called your finish twice in a row to me. First time with the second twister against Vasa, and then your Imanari roller heel hook against Paul Teague. Do you have something in mind this time? Whether you want to say what it is or not, do you have something in mind?
All right, so real quick, let me give you an introduction for everybody watching at home. I'm Captain America. Let it be known, I'm the super soldier of Somerville. I'm tactical. I'm technical. I always come with a plan. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're a fight fan, don't miss this one. Grab the family and hop in the van. This is going to be the biggest event in Plymouth since the Mayflower would land. Me, I'm undefeated. I'm unstoppable. When I fight, I'm like a storm, a tornado, a twister no man can withstand. Saturday night will be no different when I dismantle this man. And then you'll all understand why they call me the Star-Spangled Man. So with that said, of course, I always have a plan.
How long did you rehearse that one?
Nobody's ever called you that in the history of ever. That was fucking cringe.
All right, you're going to Aaron Hughes. A lot of fans were under the impression that you'd be rematching Jake Hicksenbaugh at this event. What happened to that fight?
He's a pussy, dude. I mean, I fucking messaged them on Instagram. I was like, "Are we gonna do this in November or not?" Read my message, left me on scene. So I'm on to bigger and better things. He just lost, so now I'm taking on an undefeated opponent, and I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Next, going to Cleveland.
That's my head. Go ahead. Go ahead, Andrew.
So you stepped into the cage 32 times, over double your opponent. Do you think your experience will play a big factor in this fight?
Yeah, should. I don't. Yes, I'm just gonna say yes.
And last one for Raposo. As an amateur, you were a multi-promotion champion. What would it mean to you to achieve the same accomplishment as a pro?
You know, that's kind of why I've been telling Mike for a while since I've been back. You know, that's something that's been one of my goals. I did as an amateur, do it as a pro, and I'm just trying to make myself as undeniable as possible. Cleveland's fought pretty much everybody, you know, and he's fought a lot of guys that are in the UFC now. And, you know, I need a win like that on my record. So I think that's more important. But, you know, fighting and winning a belt from Mike, that's going to be pretty sick. You know, the amateur belt, the pro belt, I have 4 belts combined. You know, it'd be nice, right? So that's what I'm focused on Saturday night.
Awesome. And just one more thing before I leave you guys. If anyone sees Giannetti, tell him that my 5 guys John Cena deal is still on the table. Thank you.
All right, there you go. Thank you so much, Andrew Mack. Before we go to our next, we have Dylan Napoleon from New England MMA. Let's see if he's ready. If not, I will go to a couple questions, maybe with Nick. Do you have some social media questions? You want to grab that microphone while we wait for Dylan? Whew. I got to. All right, I'm going to go. He wants us to go with the social media questions. So go ahead, Nick. What do you got from social media? Yeah, go ahead, take that. There's the extra one right here. Oh, that's good.
Starting with me, it'd be Alakazam. So Abracadabra, Alakazam. And I just thought it was cool that he was like a mind-bending Pokemon and he could use telekinesis and stuff. And he was kind of like, nobody knew why he had those powers and stuff like that. So, yeah.
I'd say Charizard, but I don't really know Pokemon that well.
I was more of a DC Marvel kind of guy, you know, so I'll say Shazad just to keep the trend going.
Snorlax, because who doesn't like to sleep?
I don't watch Pokemon, so yeah, no comment.
Never.
Got some bland
Dude, the
fighters right
Pokemon
now.
question always hits them hard. I'm with you, Joe. I'm not a Pokemon guy either. All right, Nick, let's get another one. I know we got one from the Beast, the Bulldog.
Oh, yeah, we got one. Yep, Dog in Plymouth, who's in the house right over there. This question is, what was the first time you experienced an adrenaline dump and how you learned to deal with that?
Well, I was a sponsored skateboarder for a long time before fighting. So I've done a lot of dumb shit with my body over time. So I guess that. I mean, maybe dropping in or going off some crazy gaps when I was a kid. I don't know.
Well, I guess if I'm being honest, I'd say when I was little, my dad would like flip off the handle and whip the dog crap out of us. And, you know, I guess how
It was
I learned
probably
to cope with
deserved.
that is just through experience.
Yeah, thank you. Cause yeah, I don't remember ever having that though. Like, I don't know. I don't think I ever had that.
Yeah. No adrenaline dumps.
No, not really. No.
There you go.
I would say the closest thing I've had to one was when I fought outside during COVID. I would say, but kind of like just push through. You'll catch your fucking second win eventually. So just don't be a pussy.
I would say when I fought for the Cage Titans title as an amateur, first round ever going 5 rounds. That show was kind of wild. So yeah.
As far as adrenaline dumps, I'd say competing early on. You know what I mean? When I was a kid, karate, wrestling, stuff like that. Haven't really experienced that in the cage. So yeah.
We have one more. This one's for Mitch. Mitch, being one of like the early kids that's been pegged from a young age to get into the UFC, what was it like dealing with that expectation at a young age to like be one of the guys coming out of this area and going to the UFC, and dealing with that expectation now of being the guy it's like going after the second pro title?
Yeah, I feel like the expectations have always been high for me since I was an amateur, and it's a good and bad thing. I got my shot at 22, and then obviously that was probably the toughest year of my life. But now I feel like I know who I am. I trust myself in that cage, and I think that's what you see now. You see a little bit of the difference. But I'm blessed, man. Dude, that happened to me, and I had 2 of the biggest losses of my life at a young age. So you can only grow from that, and that's why this, I would say, second run around, because I just turned 25, man. I'm going out there to win this belt and get signed. I want to be in the UFC so bad, and I put the work in. So just let's see what happens. I'm excited, bro. I can't wait. I'm locked in. I'm just focused on Saturday.
Nick, we're going to go to a couple fan questions. This one's for Casey Norton. It's from Rob Pico. Rob Pico says, Casey, as a huge fan of Joe Poirier himself, how are you going to adapt to the noise that gets generated when he enters the cage?
I mean, is noise really going to affect my skills and what I do every day in the gym? No. Have I been the villain before? Have I been the heel of it before? Yeah, So I feel like anything at the end of the day, I'm gonna sink to the level of my training, just like anybody else in there, including him, I'm sure too. It's always a double-edged sword. They might be booing me and cheering him, but I mean the cheers can make him sink lower than me. Maybe we'll find out. So.
All right, great. Thank you. Anybody has any more questions, definitely feel free to throw them in the comments. I do have some questions that were sent in from Jared Kelly from Fightbook MMA. His first question is for Joe Poirier. Once again, this is Jared Kelly from Fightbook MMA. Joe, you turned pro in March of this year, and Saturday will be your 5th fight. Impressive as you have not lost yet. Do you want to stay this active in your MMA career, or is it just how things have played out this year?
Trying to stay as busy as I can until that call up comes,
All right, cool. I'm going to stay with Joe just because we got the camera already on. I'll square it up on him. So I got 2 more questions from Jared Kelly, Fightbook MMA. Be it on your feet or on the mat, it seems like you're a very well-rounded fighter. How would you describe your style to a first-time viewer of your fight this Saturday night?
My style is just go in there and get the job done. You know what I mean? I'm comfortable everywhere. I make sure to not leave any holes in my game, and yeah, it's gonna come out on Saturday night.
All right, sorry. I was just doing a sound check. Somebody said they couldn't hear you, but I think we're good. And then my last question, or I should say Jared Kelly from Fightbook's last question. Casey's a formidable opponent. How do you see this fight playing out?
Like I said before, I always see a quick night in there, and the way I put these hands on dudes and my grappling, it's hard to survive. You know what I mean? It's overwhelming, and I think that's going to show on Saturday night.
All right, great. And then Jarrett's got a couple questions for Casey Norton. Then we're going to go to Dylan Napoleon. For Casey Norton, the Wonder Bread Warrior. He must ask, where did the nickname the Wonder Bread Warrior come from?
It's a little racist. I grew up in a super white town. And at that time there was not a lot of like MMA gyms around. So I had to travel to Waterbury to train, which was like 30 minutes away from me, which isn't too far, but for being, 12 years old or whatever it was a lot. And I was the only white kid there. And I did really well on my first day, and I had submitted somebody on my first day. And this really big dude came up to me. He's like, "What do they feed you over there? White bread?" And then from then on, it was white bread, whole wheat, whole milk. And then one day, one of my girlfriend's little brother was like, "You're the Wonder Bread Warrior," and I'm like, going with that. And that was it.
All right. I like that. You like it? Yeah. All right, cool. There we go. And he's got two more questions from Jarrett Kelly. Then we're going to go to Dylan. This will be your first fight for Cage Titans. What are your expectations of the promotion and fans coming out to see you this weekend in Plymouth?
I expect to be booed. That's for sure. I know it's not my home territory, which is fine. But I am excited for the venue. I think it's a sick venue. It feels like a Coliseum almost. And it gives me those vibes as I go about it, and it's fun. So I'm actually really excited for it overall.
All right, cool. And his last question for you. You train out of Ascension in Connecticut, a gym that has some of the best fighters around in New England. Tell us why you believe you will be the next big thing to come out of that gym.
Well, I think the goal is always to invest in myself. I'm trying to look at it more of as a big picture, as well as each individual fight. But I think every experience, I'm just putting money in the bank, and I think I'm just growing my skills as I go along. I believe I'm the most well-rounded 125er in New England, and I think that can only get better in 3-4 years' time, 5 years' time. And I think it's a testament to our team and the minds that we can put together down at Ascension. And I just think it's inevitable and for me to be at the top.
All right, thank you so much. And our last person we got some questions from is Dylan Napoleon from New England MMA. We're going to bring him in. And Dylan, what's going on, man?
What's up, guys? Happy to be here. Hope everybody's having a good fight week. I'll get started with Mitch Raposo. Mitch, I know you did a lot of work, a lot of traveling this camp. XC was a place you spent a lot of time at, as well as the cartel room. What can you tell me about the people who helped you prepare for this fight and the people you worked with?
Yeah, I spent a couple weeks with the cartel in Vegas, which was nice. Joe Poirier was out, Rob, Calvin, the usual crew. Cody Durden was out there. It was good work. I like to get away from my camps, and it's just different when there's no distractions and everybody's a killer. So it's just good to get that look, and then obviously train with the cartel. Weekly, daily. And obviously my home gym. I'm prepared. I'm ready. I do what I always do, man. I work my ass off. And, that's it. Go out there and get the job done.
A little one-off for you. Rob Font's in camp right now, December 2nd. You've been making a lot of points that you're going to get the job done first, and then he'll do it right after you. How's everything going with him? What do you have to say about Rob Font and his current situation?
Rob's a legend. Calvin's a legend. Obviously, you got the OGs, and but in the next wave, what they've been doing for New England MMA, there's no secret why it's getting so big, and they're a big part of that. Breaking into the top 5. Rob's fighting a former world champion, another flyweight. So we've been doing a lot of work this camp. And Rob's the general, man. He's the captain. He's absolutely. If it wasn't for him and Calvin, the doors wouldn't be open like they are for us now. So gotta be grateful to those guys.
100%. And, this is a fight, at least for me, in the recent your recent fights. It's the first time in a while I've seen one of your opponents really engaging in some trash talk with you or to you. What do you have to say about that? And how does that type of deal help motivate you? Does that change the picture at all for you?
I didn't see any said any trash talk. Tyler, if you're talking about Tyler Smythe, Casey, but I knocked him out 40 seconds, but just saying. Yeah, he was talking a lot of shit. Cleveland's cool. We were supposed to fight when I was 3-0. We're good. We both know what it is. I'm going out there he's definitely someone I need on my resume. And he's a vet. He's for all the top guys, but I'm going out there to outdo them. And it's just all respect. There's not really any shit talking here, but I mean, who fuck knows, right?
That's it. Last one for
Yeah,
you,
no,
Mitch.
I'll give you
No,
the flap. I'll give you that one. I even told that. I'll give you that one. Dude's a black belt. Strike him with shit. But that canvas is slippery as hell, and I wasn't about to lose on some bullshit. So I took my time and I found the shot. But I'll give you that. I'll give you.
That's not trash talking at all.
And
All right, you're up, Dylan.
last one for you, Mitch. Yeah, last one for Mitch. How did your former tough coach, the Ultimate Fighter coach, and Alex Volkanovski help change you as a fighter? How has he helped your mindset and like improvements? After being with him for some time, how much more prepared do you feel after having some coaching from him under your belt?
I just feel like it showed me my confidence, right? There's a lot of that experience. There's a lot of things obviously that don't get filmed, and just the day in and day out. I feel like before I didn't really know how to fight. I just went out there and did my thing, and I'm a competitor, and I've been doing this since I was a little kid. I feel like training with him, I know how to fight. I really know what it takes, and bringing a different level of fight IQ, killer instinct, and just I know what it takes to be the best guy in the world. There's no secret why he is where he is, regardless of him stepping up on 10 days notice and that. Like, that's just the type of guy Volk is, man. And if there was one coach that I was gonna have, maybe George St. Pierre, but that's about it. That was by far, if I could choose, it would have been Volk. So I'm so grateful for that.
Awesome. Thank you, Mitch. I'll move on over to Cleveland now. Cleveland, as Mitch said, you guys have been having a good camp. You guys, making this fight a little bit more than it was for the fans. This has been a lot of build up for the fight. How does fighting Mitch Raposo, a Ultimate Fighter vet, a guy with a lot of steam right now, especially within New England, how does that add up for you, and how important is it for you to get the job done overall for your career? How much does a win matter for you in this fight?
Oh, this is everything for me because I'm on a 2-fight losing streak. This fight put me right back in the talk. Like, because before the last 2 losses, I was about to get signed to the UFC. So shit happens. Took 2 losses. Win this fight, I'm right there. I'm right there again. So this is everything for me.
And with that said, have you done anything extra with your training this camp? As we heard earlier, Mitch did some traveling, training with the cartel at XC down in California, or Vegas, I'm sorry. And have you done anything similar? Have you done any traveling, anything different that you would have maybe not done in other camps?
I stayed focused and I didn't let life get in the way like it did the last 2 fights. The last 2 fights, the one I lost in December, I started a new job and I wasn't training like I was supposed to train. And the fight in July, I took that fight on 2 weeks notice and I wasn't training like I was supposed to train. This fight, quit my job. I'm training 3 times a day. So I'm training like I was when I had my I was on a 4 or 5 fight winning streak, smashing everybody, getting finishes. I get first round, second round finishes, baby. That's what I do, and I plan on doing it again.
Someone would like to hear it, man. I'll move over. A lot of training with. I know you're one of the team. How have the guys over there helped you reach new horizons so far, and how much more comfortable do you feel going into this fight with those guys in your corner?
Can you repeat who this question was for? Because you kind of got choppy at the beginning.
Yeah, Joe Poirier.
I mean, yeah, these guys, like Mitch was saying earlier, these guys are at the top of their field. It's great getting working with all of them, and they go up with open arms. So couldn't be more appreciative. And yeah, it's just been insane going out to Vegas, getting working with them there, going up to Lawrence to their gym, and getting working there.
You probably got to say that, boys.
Yeah, it's been great. Going out to Vegas with them and experiencing that and just being around killers, it boosts you up. And yeah, I just can't wait to show off everything that I've been working on Saturday night.
Thank you. And last question before I gotta run back into my job is for you, Mr. Mike Poirier. This is another great card, man. Another big card. You're known for putting on some of the biggest shows in New England. This card has some great, big stakes. What is your personal favorite thing about promoting? What makes you go hard and put on these shows so often with big names from the region and outside?
Man, I appreciate the question. I mean, honestly, I hate this sport. I hate this sport every day leading up to Saturday night, just like these fighters. I was a fighter before this, and I knew you hated going to training, and then it's just like the payoff is Saturday night, and it's still the same that way for me on the promoting side. Saturday night when you hear that crowd roar and you hear them cheering for everybody, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it right now. I hate the late night phone calls. I hate the pullouts and shuffling cars. I hate all that stuff. Just like these guys probably hate doing a lot of the training sometimes. And it's hard. You miss a lot of things. But fight night, when you guys show up and show out as a crowd, when these fighters show up and show out inside that cage, it makes it all worth it for me. So, yeah, man, I get a little emotional talking about it because, Saturday night, man, I know what these guys go through. And I know what they sacrifice, and that's what pushes me every day. And we're gonna keep doing it. So there you go. You made me cry, mother.
I'm sorry about
I'm
that.
a
I didn't mean to bring out the emotion. I appreciate the great answer, Mike. I hope I do have to run back into the job, but I hope everyone has a good rest of the fight week. I know you guys are ready to put on a show for the fans on Saturday night, so enjoy it. Have a good week, and thank you for your time.
All right, my man. Thank you so much, Dylan. And we got like 2 more minutes because Mitch's got to get out of here. We got a hot end at 1. JP's.
All right. JP Too Much with MMA Junkie. I have a question for all the fighters. Casey Morton, you already said it, but I'm actually interested in knowing how did everyone get their fight nicknames, starting with Mr. Captain America.
Oh, I got mine from the Army, just I guess from like experience. It was a funny story. I ran into somebody the other day that only knew me from my Army reputation, and they said, "Oh, I haven't seen you in a while. What have you been doing?" And I was like, but actually this year I've been fighting MMA professionally." And the guy was like flabbergasted. He was like, "Wait," he's like, "So you're like literally a superhero?" He had no idea about the Captain America thing. He just knew me from the Army. And so that's kind of where the Captain America thing came from. It's just my reputation in the Army. So I just kind of carried the persona into MMA as like a kind of a funny gimmick.
All right.
Halloween's over,
Thank you
bro.
for answering. Halloween's over, bro. You're 35 years old. It's time to give it up. Damn. Captain America, has anyone ever said that you kind of a little bit too? So you got like the hero villain thing going on.
Go right. And Captain America, he's a good person. So, maybe Jerry's a motherfucker.
All right, Cleveland.
Shit, I used to have, well, damn, I don't know if I could curse or whatever, but I used to have twisties or whatever, and one of my teammates said I look like Lamar, what's his name? Not Lamar Jackson. Marshawn Lynch. I look like Marshawn Lynch. He's like, "Bro, you like a baby beast mode." I mean, I like that, and I ran with it, and that.
All right.
I don't really have one, but growing up as a little kid, I was called Killer Mitch, kind of like just rang, 508 kid because my area code, but I don't really use any of them. I haven't really stuck to one.
When I first started training, I had a really bad temper. I fucking hate losing. Doesn't matter what it's in. And I got like tapped out in the gym one time, and I just kind of like flipped out, and someone was like, "Hey, bro, you got a really short fuse." And I was like, "Yeah, that kind of rhymes. I like it." So kind of stuck with it.
All right. I can see it a little bit. All right, Mr. Joe Poirier.
I was in the gym, and we just had the camera out rolling. One of my training partners, Andrew Valdina, actually, he he was just spitballing on the mic, and I'm always flexing in photos and just in the gym. It's kind of like a joke, and he threw out there Joey Guns, and it's just kind of stuck. So yeah.
All right. And Big Boss Man used to fight. Did you have a fight nickname too?
My nickname was the Pole.
That's fire.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
We had a gonna break the stage down and stare these guys down and get them on their way because they have their weight cut and preparing for weigh-ins. So here we go, Mitch. What do you see as your opponent's biggest strength going into this fight?
Experience and gameness.
All right, and then I'm going to switch right over to Cleveland. Cleveland, what about Mitch's fighting style do you think fits well with yours?
He liked to stand up. He liked to strike with me. So it's going to be a good fight.
All right, there you go. I know these guys are kind of few words, but I think these next two questions are going to get some answers. Captain America, Gerry Meuse, what about Aaron's game impresses you?
His tenacity. You know, he definitely comes in hot, and he shows tenacity.
All right, there you go. And short fuse Hughes. Shout out to Jarrett Kelly. That's where these questions are from. What do you think about your opponent's antics regarding his walkouts and the Captain America stuff?
Like I said before, Halloween's over, bro. You're 35 years old. It's time to give that shit up. I respect him as a fighter and as an opponent, as I respect everybody that steps into the cage. But I respect him for serving in the military. But it's just fucking stupid, man. It's cringe. It's annoying. It's funny to make fun of him. And on Saturday night, I'm gonna dance all over him in the cage.
All right, there you go. So, do you want any rebuttal to that? There was some harsh words there, so I got to give you the opportunity, Mr. Captain America, to rebuttal that.
Well, if we're gonna dance, fighting is a lot about speed. But when we talk about speed in fighting, we talk about how you hit the rhythm of things, whether you're too slow or too fast. And I think we both know who has better rhythm.
All right, there you have it, guys. We're gonna break this stage down and bring everybody back up and stare them down. So stay tuned. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. Get all this down and get these guys saying thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. Thank you to Andrew Mack from Trial by Combat and Dylan Napoleon from New England MMA, as well as JP from MMA Junkie in the building. Thank you guys for asking the questions, and Jarrett Kelly from Fightbook MMA. Thank you, guys. Stay tuned. We're going to get these guys square off, and we'll be right back. All right, guys. The moment you've been waiting for, we're going to stare these fighters down before tomorrow's weigh-in. Once again, some housekeeping. This upcoming Saturday, Cage Titans 62. Tickets are on sale at cagetitansfc.com. Join us tomorrow at Plymouth Memorial Hall for the official ceremonial weigh-in. And then Saturday, we kick things off at Second Wind Brewing for the pregame at noon. Doors open for the hall pass guests at 4 o'clock. General admission coming at 5. Fight start at 6. And as always, Tavern on the Wharf for the after party. So let's go. Let's get them up there. Whew. There you go. First up, we got Casey Norton taking on Joe Poirier. There you go. One more time for Joey Guns Poirier and Casey Wonderbread Warrior Norton. Good luck, guys. And next up, this should be fun. We got Aaron Short Fuse Hughes taking on Captain America himself, Gerry Meuse. All right, make some noise for Aaron Short Fuse Hughes taking on Captain America, Gerry Meuse. All right, guys. There you go. All right. And our main event of the evening for the Cage Titans flyweight title. I don't think he said he had a nickname. Mitch Raposo taking on Baby Beast, Cleveland McLean. And there you have it, Cage Titans 62 main event. Cleveland McLean taking on Mitch Raposo for the Cage Titans flyweight title. All right, there you guys have it. Thank you so much for tuning in here at Proof 22 for the Cage Titans 62 press conference. Once again, Cage Titans 62 tickets are still on sale at cagetitansfc.com. We'll see you this weekend at the fights.